broadcasting live from Houston, from the space city to the world. You are watching NowMedia Television.
Welcome back to Biz Talk TV. I'm your host, Michael Rager, your business guide. Man, we're ready to go talk tech right now. I got my good friend Roland Parker on. Roland, if you don't know him, he's, man, this guy is amazing. He started his tech business back in Zimbabwe in 1994, threw a dart in the board, and ended up here in Katy, Texas. Started Impress Computers USA, where now he goes ahead and he manages some of the largest stores here in the Katy, Texas, about doing general repair, helping people protect their business. I'm sorry about that, I'm gonna start there. Protect your business from cyber attacks and going on and on and on so we don't get taken advantage of as small business owners. So welcome to our show today, Roland. How are you?
Hey, Michael, doing very good on yourself. And I'm joining you here from Kansas City. So I'm on Zoom today, and we're at the Cybersecurity headquarters, which is Robert Herjavec's company. You may know Robert Herjavec from the Shark Tank.
Yeah, I do. So it's awesome. So today we're going to talk about the 5 common cybersecurity mistakes. So start us off, man. What's number one? What's the number one thing that us small business owners don't think is going to happen to us?
Well, the biggest thing is people can access your data by simply you clicking on a link or an attachment to an email. And that's really how the guys are getting in at the moment. Now, of course, there's brute force attacks where they can jump in, but a lot of the time it's simple little things. You either click on a pop-up, or you click on an attachment, or you click on a link in an email. And the bad guys are in, and you know, they're not initially doing something. They're sitting in the background, and they're really looking around to see what they can do to your business. So sometimes they could be in there for 2 months before anything happens.
So when we look at breaches, we think they're big events. They're generally small events or things happen. How do we figure out that we've been compromised? Because a lot of times, like we talked last week, is we really don't know that we're compromised, right?
Correct. So a lot of the time you're actually sitting there, you've got no idea that somebody's in your system. So you really need something that has what is called endpoint detection and remediation, that's monitoring to see, is there somebody sniffing around in your network? You also want to have your dark web scanning, and you want to have that going on all the time, so it alerts you when your credentials have been compromised and they're out on the dark web. So you want to have that detection, and you want to have the remediation. And that's what Robert's going to be speaking about today. Their company is Cybersecurity, which is cybersecurity detection and remediation. And he does it on a huge scale. We do it for small to medium-sized businesses, but the end result is the same. Can we detect who's in your business? Can we detect if your credentials have been compromised? And then we need to remediate. What can we do to get rid of that information, to block the bad guys, chuck them out so that they don't cause the damage? And you know about it before your customers do, and they say, hey, wait a minute, we're getting strange emails from you.
So we go there, and how much should we really depend on our IT team to take care of us? You know, are you guys in the back end, are you the end all for us, or is there more that we should be doing?
Yeah, so as you get bigger, what you've really got to have is what is called a SOC. That's SOC, Security Operations Center. And your IT company has got to partner with the SOC, or they've got to have their own internal SOC. And that's where that 24/7 monitoring and remediation takes place. And if you don't have a SOC with your coupled together with your IT team, then you could end up being compromised. And then it's just falling to the wayside and making sure, okay, we now have to go to backups. Can we depend on our backups? But you don't really want to get to that point. You want to make sure you're detecting and remediating beforehand.
So what happens if we don't have a backup plan? You know, how do we go take care of ourselves if that doesn't happen?
Well, if you don't have a backup plan and you get held to ransom, then really it's starting from ground zero or going back to maybe a last backup that could be 6 months old, could be 12 months old, could be 2 years ago. Can you recover from that? Or you're forced to pay the ransom. And when you do pay the ransom, like some companies have had to pay the ransom, but there's no guarantee that you're going to get your data back. And even if you get your data back, is it going to be corrupted or not corrupted?
So one of the most important things, I guess, as a business owner is we have to understand our liabilities and figure out what risk we're going to take. And how does an expert like you help us figure that out so we make the right decisions?
So really what we want to look at is what kind of data are you holding? Is it just your own internal company data? Is your liability more just the cost of downtime, lost productivity? Or are you holding personal identifiable information for your customers? What type of information do you have? Do you have names, addresses, email addresses, or do you also have social security numbers? Do you have credit card numbers? All of that type of information, you're now going to be liable for if your customer's information ends up on the dark web. You're the guys that are going to be responsible for it. And then, of course, there's the liability of your name. You know, if your reputation goes down because something like that has happened, that could be catastrophic for your business.
Great information, Roland. I appreciate it. I think you're going to have a great conference today. And I know what's going to happen next. Next time when you're back here live in studio, you're going to have some great new information to share.